Have you ever imagined the scenario where the Earth suddenly stops spinning? Will there be an apocalypse for humanity? And what terribleness will happen next? Let's find out right away the scariest things when our Earth stands still. What terrible things will happen if the Earth suddenly stops rotating? We can't feel the Earth rotating because humans and everything else on the planet, including oceans in the atmosphere, are rotating with the Earth at a constant speed. The Earth has rotated since its formation 4.6 billion years ago. The Earth rotates from west to east. When viewed from the North Star Polaris, the Earth rotates counter-clockwise. According to NASA, the circumference of the Earth at the equator is about 40,070 kilometers. The Earth rotates about 24 hours relative to the Sun, and 23 hours 56 minutes and 4 seconds relative to the stars. This means that the Earth in the equator will move at about 1,770 kilometers an hour, and the rotation speed will gradually decrease to zero at the poles. The only scenario that could have a major impact on the Earth's rotation is for the Earth to collide with another planet. However, even if this is possible, it is likely that the rotation of the Earth will be affected, but it's unlikely to bring it to a complete halt. If the Earth suddenly stopped rotating, everything on Earth would suddenly be thrown to the east because of the angular momentum. It's like when you sit in a moving car and suddenly stop. Your body is still rushing forward because of the linear torque. A cataclysm, a volcanic eruption, large-scale earthquake, or a day that can last up to half a year are possible if our sun suddenly A cataclysm, a volcanic eruption, a large-scale earthquake, or a day that can last up to half a year are possible if our planet suddenly stops rotating. Is this right? Normally we pay attention to the speed of the Earth's rotation. According to NASA expert Stan Odenwald, if the Earth stopped rotating, everything on the surface would be torn apart and fly past at great speeds, sometimes being thrown off the Earth. At the equator, the flight speed will be the largest, up to 447 meters a second, while the position near the two poles would have a speed of 358 meters a second. The force of the wind will cause the water in the seas and oceans to move strongly and form aggressive super tsunamis and strong winds of up to 1,670 kilometers an hour. Enough to tear everything on the planet, and of course the waves, coastal cities will be wiped out. Although the Earth stops spinning, the atmosphere continues to move and rotate around the globe, causing it to rotate around the Earth a few more times. The wind speed will be extremely strong at first, around 1770 kilometers an hour, and then gradually increase. In addition, the Earth may lose some of its atmosphere during wind movements. At the present time, water is concentrated at the equator due to centrifugal force. A sudden stop of the Earth will cause the continents and oceans to redistribute themselves. The oceans will also move towards the poles from the equator to form two large oceans located at the poles. Eventually, the lands will gather and create a new continent surrounding the Earth at the equator, and the North and South poles will be underwater. This rapid and destructive transition would evaporate most of the water on the planet's surface. As much of the water is lost, partly combined with new solidified minerals such as olivine, the debris is not attracted to the Earth, they are attracted to the Moon, bombarded, and countless craters created on the Moon. If it suddenly stopped rotating, the entire Earth would be shaken to the core, creating disturbances and faults in the ground, which would cause violent volcanic eruptions and large-scale earthquakes. The consequences of the volcanic eruptions, earthquakes and hurricanes with great intensity and destructive power occurring everywhere are completely unpredictable. If the Earth rotates once more around the Sun, only a part of it will be exposed to the Sun. That means half of the hemisphere will be heated and always bright with the highest temperature at the equator. Meanwhile, the other hemisphere will be at the realm of eternal night and bone-chilling cold like in Antarctica. However, NASA has another hypothesis as follows. The Earth will stop rotating completely, and in the year there will be 6 months of daylight, with the length of day and night being equal. The magnetic field is mainly formed by hot liquid convection, currents within the Earth's core and rotation of the planet. If the planet stops, the magnetic field will also disappear. Because the magnetic field protects us from radiation and the Sun, if we lose the Earth's magnetic field, we will lose our protection against cosmic radiation and electromagnetic storms from the Sun and other things coming from space, and will cause charged particles from the Sun to destroy all living things on the Earth. Humans would then have to adapt to new living conditions in the boundaries between day and night, between hot and cold. Humans will only be able to live underground and go out in protective clothing to avoid radiation from the Sun. According to research, it is said that when the Earth stops rotating, the speed of the Moon's motion will slow down and its distance from our planet will increase. At some point, it will also fall on our planet. During the billions of years that the Earth's rotated, the centripetal force exerted on the outer crust causes our planet to bulge a bit in the middle, at the equator. If it suddenly stopped rotating, over time, the Earth would have been a perfect sphere because the bulge would be flattened. Although scientists still can't predict exactly what will happen to humans and other animals and plants if our Earth stops spinning forever, but surely there will be countless terrible things that will happen if our Earth suddenly stops spinning. The angular momentum or rotational momentum of all objects on Earth will cause everything to be torn apart, and humanity will surely face a real apocalypse. Our video comes to an end. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like, share and subscribe button to receive the latest notifications about our videos. Goodbye and see you in the next video.